Fast forward 10 years. My adopted brother who hated me most became my husband. They say my parents forced him to marry me to repay a debt. After marriage I was a total nightmare. He was disgusted by me. I decided right away, divorce. When I went to find my adopted brother, with the divorce papers, I caught him standing over the guy who was chasing me. His shoe slowly grinding the guy's fingers, eyes dark. My wife is beautiful and adorable. You know that? If you know that, you're dead. When I opened my eyes, people surrounded my bed. Among the white coats, Xi Liangjiao in all black stood out. Sharp suit, reserved vibe. Not quite the Xi Liangjiao I remembered. Before I could think more, pain shot through my head. I clutched my forehead, voice pitiful. 眼角 my head hurt so much. Xi Lianzhou's body stiffened. His calm face showed a flash of awkwardness. Then he stepped aside, letting the doctor come to my bed. Feeling the thick gauze on my head, I was still processing. Did I get drunk at my birthday party last night, get wild, and hit my head? But then, you were in a car accident, you hit your head and needed stitches. Now that the anesthesia's worn off, the pain is normal. I caught 2 key words. Mom, car accident. Whose mom? What car accident? I just turned 19 at home. Wasn't I waiting for Shi Liangzhao to bring me a birthday gift? He was the only one I recognized there. I looked at him, kind of panicked, hoping he'd tell me what was going on. But Xi Liangjiao avoided my eyes and checked his watch. His voice was cold. Good, you're away. I've got things at the company. I'm leaving. Right after saying that, he turned. I panicked and raised my voice. Liang, I know he hates me, but I'm hurt now. I don't understand what's happening. How can he be this cold? Shi Lianjiao paused and turned back. Those dark eyes stared at me. His voice finally had a hint of emotion. Since you know you were wrong, just rest up. I'll come get you when you're discharged. And he left me with nothing but his cold back. 2 days in hospital, I gradually figured things out. It's 2025. I jumped 10 years into the future, and Xi Lianzhao and I are married. The reason for the car accident: I went to a bar to party, tried to bring a young guy home. He was a bad driver and crashed. Every piece of news made my vision go dark. I wanted to pass out and start over. This is not fair to me. Hanzhou hated me since we were kids, always scaring me with that cold face. We rarely got along well. My parents actually made us get married. They say they forced Xi Liangzhao to marry me to repay a debt. And after marriage, I was awful. Either fooling around with young guys or burning through Xi Liangzhou's money. He hated me, but couldn't divorce me because of the debt. We're famous in our circle as a couple who purely hate each other. I covered my face, wanted to cry but had no tears. A week later, Xi Liangzhou came to pick me up from the hospital. 10 years later, Xi Liangzhao was mature and reserved, radiating authority. His cold face was even more intimidating than before. I didn't dare say a word the whole time, just quietly followed behind him. After getting in the car, Xi Liangzhao shot me a look. His voice was low and commanding. I dealt with that guy. Stop doing things that hurt our family's stock price. I nodded. Got it. Surprise flashed in Shi Liangzou's eyes. His gaze lingered on me for 2 extra seconds. I asked, where are mom and dad? Why didn't they come see me at the hospital? I've been waiting for them to come so I could ask why they forced Xi Liangjiao to marry me. Xi Liangzou frowned. What did you say? I paused and repeated. Where are mom and dad? Those 3 words seemed to hit a nerve with Xi Liangjiao. His face suddenly darkened. A vein frog at his temple, his tone was icy. Senyi, you don't need to remind me about our relationship like this. Want to plead for that man? What's so attractive about him? The temperature in the car jumped. Shi Liangzhou stared at me hard, then finally added. Do you know how much our stock dropped because of your scandal? I was scared by Xi Liangzhou's sudden outburst. A little lost, my eyes watered without meaning to. I shot back through gritted teeth, why are you yelling at me? Even when he hated me before, he'd at least pretend to be nice. Now he's not even pretending, huh? The more I thought about the more wronged I felt. I couldn't help but yell at him. I got hurt so bad, you left me alone in the hospital. I didn't complain. Now I ask you a couple questions and you yell at me. Is this how you act as a brother? Then I remembered, it's 10 years later now. We're married. So I yelled again. Is this how you act as a husband? So annoying. Woke up going from 19 to 29, girl to married woman, fine. An adopted brother turned husband. Can't even adjust. Next to me, Xi Liangjiao's cold expression froze. He looked at me like he didn't know me. I angrily wiped my tears and glared at him. Then turned to look out the window, out of sight, out of mind. You. Xi Liangzhou's voice shook a little. Even though I faced the window, I still quietly perked up my ears. But after waiting forever, he said nothing more. The back seat was quiet except for the soft rumble of the tires. I casually glanced back and saw Xi Liangzhao leaning back against the seat, eyes closed, breathing shallow. Like he didn't want to see me and would rather rest his eyes. Damn it! 10 years later, Xi Liangzhao is still annoying. I gritted my teeth and angrily turned back to the window. Behind me, Xi Liangzhao quietly opened his eyes. His eyes were bloodshot, lashes trembling. He stared at the back silhouette, hand lifting from his knee then lowering. Finally, right before we got home, he closed his eyes again. Not until the person next to him got out and slammed the door angrily. Di Jies opened his eyes. Already back to his cold expression. He told the driver up front. Go to the hospital and get me a copy of her medical records. Don't let her know. Back in my room, I was so mad my head hurt. Can't understand why my parents made me marry Xi Lianzhou. And I actually agreed to it. I sat there thinking for a while. I decided, divorce. Since we both hate each other so much, might as well set each other free. Mind made up, I contacted a lawyer right away to draft divorce papers. After divorcing Xi Lianzhou, I'll go back to my parents. Keep living my old rich girl life. Weirdly, I don't have my parents' contact info in my phone. Even my close friends from before vanished without a trace. Why didn't I get the memories from these 10 years? Missing 10 years for no reason feels unsettling. Thinking about it, I got sleepy. Meanwhile, Xi Lianjiao in his study got a call from the lawyer. Your wife wants you to draft divorce paper. Yes, sir. What do you think? The lawyer was nervous, sweating, barely breathing. Xi Lianjiao glanced toward the master bedroom, his tone a bit helpless and tired. Draft it, it's not the first time. The lawyer finally relaxed. All right, sir. Xi Lianjiao hung up and kept reading the medical report on his computer. The wound's healing well. No damage to the brain. He was silent for a long time. No memory loss. Then why? She's healing so well, yet treating him so nicely. Xi Lianzhou tapped the desk with his finger, eyes down, thinking. Oh, finally he got up and walked to the master bedroom. When I woke up, it was already dark outside. I stretched and sat up. Suddenly got startled by a figure in front of me. It's me. Xi Lianzhou's voice was calm as he turned on the light. I closed my eyes adjusting to the light. What are you doing? Sitting by my bed trying to be a ghost. Xi Lianzhou reached out and touched my forehead. You had a bit of a fever earlier. How do you feel now? I was surprised. Huh. I felt my own forehead. Not hot. Then moved my body around. Don't feel sick anywhere. Are your hands just too cold? I went to touch his hand, but then saw the smile at the corner of his mouth. Xi Lianzhou, how old are you? Still pulling these little tricks? Is messing with me fun? He used to love making stuff up when I woke from naps. Like saying I called his name in my sleep, held his hand so he couldn't leave. Or it was raining and he worried my window wasn't closed. How can someone lie with a straight face like that? Later I complained, and he backed off a bit. I huffed. Do that again, and I'm telling Mom. Xi Lianzhou's smile stiffened and flattened. I thought he was scared. I lifted my chin proudly. But then he said, telling won't help now. His voice was a bit low, heavy. No way. I don't believe it. Mom loves me most. Xi Lianjiao looked up, his dark eyes like a vortex, wanting to pull me in. Thinking of something, he curled his lip. We're married. This is how married couples play. As he said that, he reached up and tucked my messy hair behind my ear. His dry, warm fingertip lightly brushed the skin behind my ear. Like an electric shock, I got goosebumps all over, half my body went numb. Then I thought about what he said about married couples. My face went red instantly. I pushed Xi Lianzhao away. Stay away from me. I'm not clueless. We're married so obviously. But I'm only 19 inside. I haven't even dated yet. Never held hands, never kissed. This is too intense right off the bat. Seeing that, Xi Lianzhao pushed even harder. Shy about what? We're an old married couple. He didn't come closer. Didn't even touch me. But that naked look in his eyes said everything. I couldn't even talk straight. Not listening. I wanted to cover my ears, but felt like I should cover Xi Lianzhou's eyes instead. So I ended up with one hand covering my ear, one covering his eyes. I insisted. Don't look at me like that, like some kind of fox. When he opened his mouth, I cut him off right away. And don't talk. Old guys are sneaky. He'll trick me with just a couple words. Lianjiao sighed softly and actually stayed still. Let me cover his eyes. I calmed down a bit and remembered the divorce thing. I spoke seriously. Lianzhou, let's get divorced. Silence around us. I waited patiently for Xi Lianzhao's answer. 1 minute. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. I leaned closer to him and lowered my hand from his eyes. Did you fall asleep? Xi Lianzhou wasn't asleep. His eyes met mine. He spoke slowly. Didn't you tell me not to talk? That was before. Can't you be flexible? Hearing that, Xi Lianzhao looked helpless. Didn't want to upset you. I shook my head. I won't be. So what do you think? My parents forced you to marry me. You couldn't say no. I get it. But now I'm the one asking for the divorce. I'll deal with them so they should. Sen Yi. Xi Lianzhao suddenly cut me off. His eyes on me were cold and distant. The atmosphere turned heavy. Just like when I first opened my eyes in the hospital and saw him. Hard to deal with again. I couldn't read him. I muttered. What's with you? Mood swings out of nowhere. Xi Lianzhou stayed cold. Done with your act. What do you mean? He sneered. Bottom line, it's still about the divorce. 365 days a year, you bring it up 800 times. Last time I said no, you went to a bar. As he said that, he glanced at the wound on my forehead. He sneered. What's your plan this time? Bring another guy home, or shove a woman in my bed. Besides faking affairs, do you have any other tricks? We locked eyes. Neither of us said a word. What came to my mind was the title people gave me and Xi Lianjiao. A couple who purely hate. Oh, I get it now. So that's how it all went down. I wasn't saying anything and he ran his tongue against his cheek. When he spoke again, it was through gritted teeth. But this time was pretty fresh. What did you just call me? Brother. Husband. He chewed those 4 words in his mouth before spitting them out. Instead, it made me think he wasn't angry. He was savoring it. I watched Xie Lizhou's expression closely, trying to find proof. But then he suddenly stood up, even stirring up a gust of wind. His voice shot up too. Senyi, give it up. There's no way we're getting divorced. The second his words ended, Xie Lizhou stormed off super fast. I watched him disappear through the door, totally confused. What's with this guy acting like a psycho? All I said was the word divorce. He rambled on, and then he's the one who freaked out. I pursed my lips. He seemed pretty happy when he was sitting there chatting with me. What's he pretending for and saying there's no way we're getting divorced? Well, I'm gonna divorce him. After venting, I got out of bed. I was gotta eat so I have the energy to keep pushing for this divorce. The next few days, Xie Lizhou straight up vanished. He didn't come home. And he wasn't at the office. I carried that divorce agreement around and struck out again and again. I was getting annoyed. What's his deal anyway? He can't stand me, but he won't give me a reason. Why not? Xie Lizhou is so annoying. Even back when he was my brother, he loved making me guess. Why he was mad at me, he wouldn't say. What I did wrong, he wouldn't say. But when I went to soothe him, he'd accept it like a good boy. Now he's my husband and he's doing the same thing. 出生. No wonder we're talking divorce. While I was totally stuck, someone sent me a location. Said Xie Lizhou was probably there. It was anonymous, so I had no idea who sent it. After thinking it over, I decided to take my chances. I called the bodyguards, and we headed out in a big group. After all, with my net worth, what if it's a trap? When we got there, the bodyguards surrounded me. I had the divorce papers on me, and we all looked for Xie Lizhou together. But after searching everywhere, forget about Xie Lizhou. There weren't even any mosquitoes. So I really got tricked. Damn it. I turned around annoyed, then suddenly a bodyguard shouted, "Mom, there's a secret room here." The door opened to a really long dark alley. At the end, there were faint sounds. With 18 bodyguards around, I felt way braver. I stepped into the alley, and the sounds at the end got clearer. I was wrong. Have mercy on me. A cold laugh reached my ear. It sounded so familiar. When I got to the end of the alley, I peeked my head out. Not far away, Lizhou was facing sideways to me. All in black, shirt sleeves rolled to his elbows. His exposed forearms had smooth muscle line. Going up, broad shoulders, narrow waist, and his chest muscles were bulging. He always wore really buttoned-up clothes around me before. 3-piece suits, never missing a piece, so I never noticed. His body is actually this built. He spelled in front of Xiu. Face all bruised and swollen. You couldn't even tell what he looked like anymore. But the bodyguard behind me still recognized him and whispered, "Mom, that's the guy who caused your car accident." I heard from the other guys it was on purpose. Sir had them investigating for days. I suddenly understood and felt relieved. At least he wasn't out looking for some boy toy. I really couldn't accept myself cheating. The guy suddenly screamed. I snapped back and saw Xie Lizhou lift his foot. His fancy red bottom shoes slowly ground against the guy's fingers. "I'm only asking you one question." The guy was in too much pain and nodded frantically. I'll tell you everything." Xie Lizhou looked down at him, his tone dark. "My wife is very beautiful and very cute, you know that." His voice got softer, but it was full of murderous intent. "If you do know that, you're dead." The guy froze for a second. Xiu wasn't happy with his reaction and pressed harder with his foot. I don't know anything. I didn't touch San Yu. I didn't even touch a single finger of hers. Xiu Lai still wasn't satisfied. "Anyone who wants my wife is dead too." "Psycho, you're just a psycho. If Sen Yu knew your true face." Xie Lizhou stomped his foot on the guy's neck. A vein popped on his temple and he said slowly, "My wife will never know." The guy strained to turn his head, stared straight at me, and raised his hand. "Look." Liu. Xie Lizhou froze, and everything went quiet. I saw his hand at his side clenched tight, beings bulging on his whole body started trembling. The bodyguard scratched him. "Xiela, we've been spotted." "No kidding, I can see that." "No kidding, I can see that." I stepped out. When Xie Lizhou heard my footsteps, his back shook even harder, until I stopped next to him. He never turned his head. He even turned away a bit when I came over. Like if he didn't see me, I wouldn't have found him. Avoiding, hiding. The guy under Xie Lizhou's foot was about to suffocate. I tugged on his shirt. "Ease up, he's gonna die." Xie Lizhou snapped out of it, quickly pulled back his foot and turned away from me. His back was slightly hunched, his breathing getting rapid. The bodyguards came and dragged the guy away, then quickly left. Good instincts. But that makes me look like I have no instincts at all. I quietly pulled my hand out of my bag and closed it. Divorce agreement hidden. So, Xie Lizhou really didn't want me to see his brutal side. But I already saw it. "You're pretty good at fighting, huh?" I stared at the back of his head, hoping he'd give me some kind of reaction. But Xie Lizhou was like a turtle hiding in its shell, totally unresponsive. I pursed my lips and walked around to his front. "Xie Lizhou, why are you always like this?" I stopped talking suddenly. I stared at Xie Lizhou in shock. "哭什么? Why are you crying?" His head was down, his body shaking, his mouth trembling. His dog eyes were wet and bloodshot. His expression was blank, like his soul had been sucked out. I grabbed his arm. getting worried. I'm not even scared and crying, so why are you? If you don't want me to see you fight, then I won't look. I quickly shut my eyes. Don't do this, how am I supposed to make you feel better? It's just a fight, totally normal. You beat up that rich kid who made fun of me before. You didn't even back then. Suddenly something soft touched my lips. Hot breath brushed past my nose. I opened my eyes in shock and Shilicho's face flashed before me. Then my view was blocked. He pulled me into a tight hug. Like I was completely fitted into his arms, perfectly. The heartbeat in my ear was thundering. Couldn't tell if it was mine or his. Couldn't tell how long we held each other. All I remember was that soft touch on my lips. Warm with a bit of wetness. Like a dragonfly on water, barely there. I think that's called a kiss. After getting home, I was the one avoiding Shilicho. That kiss made me realize a lot of things. Why won't Shilicho divorce me? Because he likes me. Why was Shilicho scared for me to see his violent side? Because he likes me. Even going back further, why did Shilicho avoid me? Why did he hate me? Why did he look at me that way? Cold, damp, sticky. Because he likes me. When he was adopted by my parents, Shilicho was 13. His parents didn't get along and they divorced right after he was born. He lived with his father. My family worked with his family twice. My dad said Uncle Xi was a really honest guy. Shilicho and I met once too, and he was really good looking. The next time we met, his family had gone bankrupt. Uncle Xi couldn't take it and jumped off a building, leaving Shilicho alone. The police couldn't reach his mother, so they were gonna send him to an orphanage. My dad felt bad, so after talking with my mom, they adopted Xilu. That day I came home from school and found out I had a brother. I was so happy. Because Shilicho was really good looking. I followed Shilicho around all day, calling him brother nonstop. Since I knew he lost his family, I felt responsible. I always wanted to cheer him up and make him happy. And Shilicho gradually let me get close. When did things start to change? Shilicho seemed to start hating me when he was 17. He stopped going to and from school me. He wouldn't let me hang around him anymore. If I even accidentally touched him, he'd wash his hands like crazy. I have a temper too, so I stopped talking to him. Then our relationship stayed in this weird balance. Not as close as before, but not totally silent either. After figuring it all out, I let out a big sigh. I just hate that I was so clueless. But I couldn't help thinking Shilicho is so good looking. And I know him so. If he confessed to me, I definitely would have been willing to give it a shot. That soft kiss popped into my head again. I immediately covered my cheek. Just thinking about it made my face feel hot. 九次家, no. While Shilicho wasn't home, I followed my old memories and snuck back to the Sen house alone. I had a ton to say to my parents. The car stopped at the front gate. I honked forever but nobody came to open it. So I got out. That's weird, where is everybody? Looking through the gate, the villa was empty and lifeless. Leaves floated in the fountain. It looked so desolate. Like nobody had lived there in a long time. A bad feeling grew in my chest. I frantically rang the bell and pounded on the gate. Dad, Mom, Uncle Lu. No response. I grabbed the iron gate and was about to climb over. Then I heard the screech of brakes behind me. Then someone grabbed my arm. Senyue. I turned around. Shilicho's hair was messy, breathing hard, looking tense. Like he rushed over. I didn't have time to think. I grabbed him like a lifeline. I gripped his hand tight. I asked urgently, where are Mom and Dad? Why is nobody home? Why does it look like this? Shilicho calmly pulled me back and soothed me gently. Don't you remember? He looked into my eyes, his tone soft. We moved out a long time ago. We don't live here anymore. After Mom and Dad handed the company to me, they went traveling the world. You got into a fight with them about the divorce thing. You got so mad you deleted their contact info. Look, it's about to rain. Let's go home, okay? When we get back, I'll call them. They miss you too. I looked up at the sky. It was clear just a second ago, but now it was getting dark. It really was about to rain. My heart felt uneasy. Like a storm was coming. Traveling the world. My marriage to Shilicho is a total mess. I even got in a car accident, and my parents are traveling the world. I got in the car with Shilicho, feeling uneasy, and he turned on the AC. Close your eyes and rest for a bit. Don't worry, I've got you. He rubbed my head. Your brother will always be here. I closed my eyes like he said, and smelled a nice incense. I felt drowsy. Shilicho's voice got farther and farther. So strange, why was it all so strange? But that little doubt was quickly replaced by drowsiness. I fell into a deep sleep. Once he was sure I was asleep, Shilicho's gentle look went cold. He didn't rush home and just stared at me for a long time. His feelings were all mixed up. Finally he took out his phone and made a call. Get ready tonight, my wife wants to make a call. The person on the phone sounded surprised. But she hasn't had an episode in so long. The second he said it, he realized his mistake and quickly apologized. I'm sorry, sir. I'll make sure they're all brief. She won't suspect a thing. Leisure hung up, heartbroken. It was all his fault. He scared her. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. He blamed himself. Full of guilt, his voice trembled. When I opened my eyes, it was already 10 at night. My head was foggy for a moment. Sandra was sitting by the bed watching over me. When he saw me wake up, he looked relieved. Mom and Dad called asking about you earlier. You were asleep so I didn't wake you. I sat up. My sluggish brain gradually started working again. I slept that long? 西里安就 didn't seem surprised. Or maybe he was just used to it. He reached over and tucked the blanket around me. He didn't seem to want me getting out of bed. I need to use the bathroom. Xie Lianzhao paused, then obligingly pulled back the covers. I'll help you, or carry you. I jumped and pushed away his reaching hand. No. That's so embarrassing. It's not like I don't have legs. But the moment my feet touched the floor, my knees buckled and I fell straight down. Luckily Xie Lianzhao was quick and caught me, or I would have fallen hard. What's going on? What happened? Xie Lianzhou explained. Maybe you slept too long, or maybe it's after effects from the car accident. With that, he picked me up. But I couldn't calm down. Even someone as slow as me could tell something was wrong. In a few breaths, Xie Lianzhao had carried me to the bathroom. After carefully setting me down, he hesitated. I quickly refused. I can do it myself. Go outside. Seeing this, Xie Lianzhou could only nod. I'll be right outside. Call me if you need anything. After he turned and closed the door, I immediately went over and locked it. My heart was racing. I felt kinda scared. Something's off. There's something wrong with Xie Lianzhao. And there's something wrong with my body too. Why did I get sleepy the second I got in the car? Why am I completely weak after waking up? Thinking back now, even Xie Lianzhao's line about me not remembering felt like a test. What happened in these 10 years? I pressed my hands to my head. I tried hard to remember. Logically, me and my future self are the same person. Even if I haven't lived through it, my mind shouldn't be completely blank. My body's subconscious should give me some clues. But the harder I tried to think, the heavier my head felt. My whole body was gradually soaked in cold sweat, like I'd just been pulled from water. I was gasping for air, exhausted. My vision kept going dark. Just then, there was knocking at the door. Sen Yi, Xie Lianzhou's voice was like an arrow cutting through the darkness. I jerked my head up. In that instant, a series of strange images flashed through my mind. The same bathroom, the same knock-in. When I didn't respond for a long time, Xie Lianzhou started getting frantic, pounding on the door. Sen Yi, open the door, I'm begging you, please open the door. Yeah. He kicked the door open and saw me lying on the floor, covered in blood. Panic, helplessness, fear. In that moment, my vision seemed to be filled with blood too. My whole body went cold, I couldn't breathe. But it overlapped with the image in my head. Lianzhou kicked the door open and rushed in. Sen Yi, even the expression on his face was exactly the same. For a moment, I couldn't tell if this was real or not. I just instinctively spoke. Brother. But another voice echoed in my head. Xie Lianzhou. Before I turned 19, I rarely called Xie Lianzhao by his full name. I collapsed against Xie Lianzhou's chest, trying to calm down. These are my memories. I glanced at my wrist. The uneven scars were hideous. The next second, Xie Lianzhao grabbed my wrist. Without a word, he started to carry me out. Wait. I was kind of embarrassed. I haven't finished yet. He pressed his lips together and let go, then just stood there watching me. We stared at each other. The air was quiet for a long. My face gradually turned red. I forgot about the memories for now, and just kept pushing him out. Get out, if you keep watching me, how am I supposed to go? Xie Lianzhao stood there like a rock, his brows furrowed. It's not like I haven't seen it before. When we were intimate you. Shut up. I quickly covered his mouth. My face was red all the way to my neck, my ears burning. I may have zero practical bits, but my theoretical knowledge is perfect. I already knew what Xie Lianzhao was talking about. Get out, get out, get out. I'm fine, I'm not going to hurt myself. I just need to use the bathroom. After I said that, Xie Lianzhou's body froze for a moment. His lips moved. Because I was covering his mouth, his words were muffled, I didn't hear clearly. I didn't have time to worry about that though. After all that delay, I really had to go. If you don't leave, I'm gonna wet myself, please. I'm begging you. Lianzhao let out a breath and finally gave in, turning around. Seeing him leave, I called out, go all the way out. Don't listen. He kicked the door earlier, so it could only be left half open. Seriously. After quickly finishing up, I had time to think about other things. If I'm not wrong, my body right now is sick. And I tried to kill myself, right under Xie Lianzhou's nose. So that's why he got so frantic when I didn't come out for so long. Just now, I touched my chest. That sudden fear came out of nowhere. Even I don't understand what happened. When I first got here, I didn't think that much about it. I didn't pay attention to what actually happened to my body. But now I feel like something's really off. Something serious must have happened. Maybe I should ask Xie Lianzhao. I'll just say I lost my memory. I walked out while thinking. Xie Lianzhao was standing by the window, his back radiating an indescribable loneliness. Xie Lianzhao. He turned around, his expression perfect. Mom's calling. I looked at the phone he held out. The words on my lips suddenly got stuck. I happily took the phone. Mom, where are you guys? I miss you so much. I should have been happy, but when I opened my mouth, I choked out. Why aren't you home? Why did you move? Did you just stop caring about me after you married me off to Xiao? On the other end, my mom was laughing. We miss you too. We'll be back soon. Just be good with Zhou, don't throw tantrums all the time. Exactly what she used to say when I complained about Xie Lianzhao. Don't throw tantrums all the time. I glanced at the phone screen. It said Mom. No number showing. Got it, Mom. Are you such a good girl? Hearing that, I could already picture my mom's gentle face in my mind. I felt ice cold all over. This isn't my mom. My parents spoil me, but they've always been strict about important things. Before the call, I was ready to get scolded. After all, my car accident was such a big deal it even made the Sen family's stock price drop. But my mom loves me too, so after yelling she'd definitely comfort me. I'd even planned to act cute and then bring up divorce. But instead, all she said was that one light comment about not throwing tantrums. Like what she'd say when she lian jiao and I had little spats that didn't matter. It shouldn't be like this. It's like they don't care about the stock market and they don't care about me. Just going through the motions. I couldn't hear what the person on the phone was saying anymore. I looked at Xi Lianzhou. He looked calm, patiently waiting for me to finish the call. In that moment, I suddenly felt like he was a stranger too. The other person hung up at some point. I stiffly handed the phone back to Xi Lianzhou. Did you want to tell me something earlier? I shook my head. I'm kind of tired. I'm going to bed. I almost fled into the bedroom. What is Xi Lianzhou hiding? But my gut tells me Xi Lianzhou loves me. Xi Yanzhou wouldn't lie to me. Over the next few days, I secretly went to the hospital for a checkup. The wound on my head was healing well, but the doctor held my results with furrowed brows. My heart started racing. Do I have some terminal illness? The doctor pushed up his glasses and put down the report. Fantasy disorder isn't a terminal illness, don't. But looking at your records, you've stopped taking your medication for a while. Has something happened recently? Our hospital's psychiatric specialists are very reputable. If you need, I can get you an appointment. My head was ringing. Everything went blank. The doctor got me an appointment. When I arrived at the psychiatric department, I still couldn't believe it. I have fantasy disorder. The psychiatrist glanced at my test results. She immediately pinpointed which day I'd taken the medication. The exact same day I called my parents. Remembering how weird my body felt that day, I told the doctor. Oh, she nodded. Long-term medication can cause headaches, dizziness, and overall weakness. From your expression, you didn't know you'd been medicated. No, I didn't. But now I do. That day I went looking for my parents and Xi Lianjiao rushed over. He must have thought my fantasy disorder was acting up. So he gave me medication while I was asleep. And had someone pretend to be my parents to calm me down. Does that mean something happened to my parents? Leaving the hospital, I was a wreck. I practically ran to the company to get answers. But when I got to the building, I stopped. What if Xi Lianzhou thinks my fantasy disorder is acting up and just lies to me again? I'm completely sure about my situation now. I don't have fantasy disorder, I just don't know what happened to my parents. I closed my eyes and sat outside the building, my head pounding. Just then, a pregnant woman came up to me. Sen Yi. When she called my name, there was a sob in her voice. I just looked up when she dropped to her knees in front of me. I jumped. Looking closer, I realized it was Qian Ni, one of my good friends from high school. Also one of the people who disappeared. Before I could say anything, she grabbed my hand, tears streaming down. Sen Yi, I know I wronged you. I shouldn't have lied to you back then, but. She pulled my hand to her belly. I'm pregnant, Sen Yi. I yanked my hand back in shock. It's not mine. Her expression froze. Seeing her like that, I couldn't be heartless. We were really close in high school. I even brought her home all the time. I don't know what happened now. But she's pregnant, kneeling like this. So many people are watching. Get up first. Qian looked almost touched. You don't blame me anymore. Sen Yi, can you help me? Please let me see Xi Lianzhou. I've been waiting here for him for so long. He won't see me. I was shocked. It's the baby Lianzhou's. But I held back from asking. I haven't forgotten that right now. I'm Xi Lianzhou's wife. Why embarrass myself by asking? What do you want with him? And he knelt down again. I want to beg him. Beg him to let Jingshu go. Between the Sen and Zheng families is from the older generation. It has nothing to do with Jingshu. He doesn't know anything. Sen Yu, just take pity on me. I grew up without a father. I don't want my child to grow up without a father too. You know that pain of losing family. Can you really bear it? I froze. The key words drilled into my ears. My head was buzzing. Losing family. Qian nodded, crying pitifully. Uncle Sen and Auntie Sen's debt has been paid by Jayan. They're already dead. Zhang Xu is innocent. Sen Yi, I'm begging you. I stood up. Everything around me suddenly went quiet. Qian's words echoed in my head. Are you saying my parents are dead? You, and the father of your baby killed them. Qian's mouth opened and closed. I couldn't hear what she was saying. Yo, it's me. Look at me, it's me, Xi Lianzhou. My body was being held. Xi Lianzhou's frantic, helpless voice filled my ears. Listen, killing her isn't worth it. I have ways to make them pay. I'll get revenge, I won't let anyone get away with it. But you can't get hurt, you. A crowd had gathered around us, chattering loudly. Oh my god, what kind of grudge is this, beating a pregnant woman like that? No matter what, you can't fight with a pregnant woman. Oh wow, the Sen family heiress. I've heard she's arrogant and lawless. Now she's beating a pregnant woman in broad daylight. And before this she was with her little lover. And then got in that. My blank mind slowly started to come around. I saw Qian Ni on the ground, struggling and writhing, covered in blood. Her blood was all over my hands and face. Xi Liangjiu turned my face away so I wouldn't look at her. His voice was low and steady. Don't be scared, don't worry, let me handle this. There were too many onlookers, some calling the cops, some taking photos. I knew I'd caused trouble again. Hey. I pushed him. Xi Lianzhou held me tight. Don't act up right now. He stood in front of me. All I could see was the back of his head. Seems like this wasn't the first time. The sticky smell of blood on me made me sick. I held it in. I struggled to speak. She's not pregnant. When I hit her just now, she didn't protect her belly, didn't fight back or resist. She did it on purpose. Plus what she said about Jigshu. I got set up again. We met in high school. My parents treated her like a daughter. But she got my parents killed because of some guy named Zheng Shu. Now she comes acting all sorry, using my parents to provoke me. I lost it for a second. Before I could finish, everything went black. My body swayed. I felt awful. My head was so heavy. What was I supposed to say next? I don't just hit people for no reason. I can't cause trouble for Xi Lianzhou. But I couldn't get another word out. Yeah. Xi Yanjiu caught me as I collapsed, panicked. His eyes were bloodshot. I'd never seen him like this. I'm sorry. I lost consciousness completely. When Sen Yu went limp in Xi Lianzhou's arms, it felt like 5 years ago all over again. Sen Yu wasn't feeling well and went to the hospital. Quan Yi went with her. The test results showed she was pregnant. Quan Yi called her parents before she could. On their way there, her parents' brakes failed. They crashed through the guardrail and the car plunged into the river. It had been raining hard for days. The river was swollen and raging. No one in the car survived. The recovery team searched for 10 days straight. The bodies were unrecognizable. Back then, Sen Yu collapsed just like this. Lifeless. Suffocation, panic, despair wrapped around Xi Lianzhou. He couldn't breathe. The person in his arms was as light as a feather, like she'd drift away from him any second. No, you. Please don't leave me. Please don't. You're all I have. You're all I have. The ambulance came quickly and took everyone to the hospital. I felt like I slept for ages. And I had a dream. In the dream I was 19 and Xi Liangzhou confessed to me. I thought, he's so good looking and we know each other so well, so I'd give it a try with him. Then we got married. Kind of rushed. Because his birth mother showed up. She saw how successful Xi Lianzhou was and tried every trick to get him back. On impulse, I made a suggestion to my parents. Liangzhou marry into our family. They agreed. I was shocked. Looking back, I felt a tiny bit guilty. Just a tiny bit. But Xi Liangzhou was really happy. He held me and said so many sweet things. I'd never heard him talk so much in one breath. So cheesy. And yeah, I loved it. But some other story got twisted. People said my dance in说 the man you work like a slave for the same family. I was furious. But Lianzhou stayed happy. He said it was more than he could ask for. I loved seeing him like that. The dream stopped there. I opened my eyes to the familiar hospital ceiling. The dream flashed through my mind frame. Are these my memories? You're awake. A relieved voice sounded in my ear. But it was raspy and rough. It was Xi Liangzhou. I don't know how long he'd been watching over me. Before I could turn my head, hot tears fell onto the back of my hand. Why is he crying again? Xi Liangzhou, how am I supposed to comfort you? I looked at him. He looked awful. Unshaven, haggard. His eyes were completely bloodshot. Next thing I knew, Xi Lianzhou pressed his forehead against my palm, his shoulders shaking. My palm got wet. I lifted my other hand and rubbed his head. Why do you cry so much? I'm the patient. You should be comforting me. Lianzhou seemed to realize something was off. He looked up at me. Yeah. Be honest with me. Did you forget something? He asked carefully, anxious and uneasy. I nodded. I motioned him closer. Actually, I'm not Sen Yu. Xi Liangjiu froze. Wait, I mean I'm not Sen Yu as she is now. I'm 19-year-old Sen Yi. Do you believe me? Xi Lianzhou stared at me blankly. I don't understand, you. I explained. I was celebrating my birthday at home, then I opened my eyes and I was in a hospital. Then I figured out I traveled 10 years into the future. I don't know why, but after getting those memories back, I suddenly wanted to tell him. Lianzhou's expression grew complicated. He lowered his eyes. Like he understood that he was heartbroken. So that's how it is. I didn't notice. I kept going. 19-year-old Sen Yu is mentally healthy. Stop sneaking me pills and stop finding people. I stopped mid-sentence. I remembered. My parents are dead. Xianjiu clearly remembered too. He held me tight, panic. You still have me. You still have me. I'll always be with you. I love you, Yi, I love you. He was afraid he wouldn't get another chance to say it. My heart felt like it was being squeezed. It hurt. I wanted to cry, but couldn't. I want to see them. Okay, I'll go with you. At the cemetery, I stared at my parents' photos on the headstone. At their names, I was frozen for a long time. I even forgot to breathe. My legs gave out, and I dropped to my knees. Silenjo reached out to help me, worried. I refused. My hand trembled as I touched the names on the headstone, the photos. So it's real. My parents really left me forever. The string inside me that had been pulled tight suddenly snapped. My mind collapsed, my emotions broke. I clutched my chest and sobbed. Xi Lianzhou choked up too, kneeling beside me. I cried and he cried just as long. I turned to him. Xi Lianzhou, we don't have a mom and dad anymore. He was barely holding it together. All he could do was hold me tight. We still have each other. Don't get divorced, okay? Can we stay together forever? I love you, Yi. I don't want to be apart from you. I nodded. Okay. After that, my body went limp and I fainted in Xi Lianzhou's arms. After that, I got really sick. Burning up with fever, barely getting better. The doctor said my body was already weak. I shouldn't experience extreme emotions. Xi Lianzhou heard that and felt horribly guilty. He dropped everything at the company to take care of me. After about 2 weeks in bed, I finally started getting better. Work piled up at the company waiting for Xi Lianzhou. The shareholders kept calling him over and over. I'm really fine now. Go to the company. Can't let my company go under. Xi Lianzhou sighed and rubbed my head. Hi. The weather turned colder as winter came, but I felt like I was getting stronger. So I started going to the company with Xi Lianzhou. The situation with Chunyi was resolved. She wasn't pregnant. She did it to use public pressure against Xi Lianzhou. What I said before I fainted also helped. The Sen family wasn't badly affected. The guy who got the actor to approach me was Zhen Yu also sent me the message showing Xi Lianzhou beating someone up. Apparently when I was sick before, I accidentally saw Xi Lianzhou dealing with some guy who was pursuing me. It scared me and made me worse. So he tried the same trick again to drive a wedge between us. In the office, I poked Xi Lianzhou's cheek. You get jealous so easily. Xi Lianzhou took my hand and kissed it. Yeah, not changing. The warm touch on my fingers made me blush. But inside I was hoping Xi Lianzhou would go a little further. When he didn't move, I scooted closer to him and pretended to accidentally fall into his lap. Oops, I fell. You have to kiss me before I can get up. Yi Lianzhou's breath caught. His hands instinctively went to my waist like he was really afraid I'd fall. I blinked up at him. The air filled with tension. We leaned in slowly. My heart was racing. We were about to kiss. But then Xi Lianzhou rested his chin on my shoulder, dodging my lip, and started looking at documents over my shoulder like nothing happened. I tried to get up. He held my waist firm. Move, let me lean on you. I'm tired. What do you mean? You seem pretty energetic to me. Xi Lianzhou, I want to kiss you. I poked his side, annoyed. Xi Lianzhou's temperature shot up. His voice got rough. I know. Then why won't you let me kiss you? Before you were giving me looks. Now you're acting all shy. Xi Lianzhou held me tighter. Stop. Is it because inside I'm 19? He stiffened. I knew I was right. You kissed me plenty when I was 19 before. I remember. Xi Lianzhou seemed helpless, unable to explain. I knew what he was thinking. I asked bluntly. Xi Lianzhou, you think you're robbing the cradle now, don't you? His face darkened. I was right again. Sen Yu. I pushed him away, laughing, and ran. At the door I turned back. Actually, I don't mind. Xi Lianzhou is always Xi Lianzhou. Xi Lianzhou watched her disappear from the doorway. His heart couldn't settle. This was 19-year-old Sen Yu's bright, burning love. She hadn't lived through those misunderstandings and pain, hadn't lived through those 10 years. To her, Xi Lianzhou was always Xi Lianzhou. Lianzhou would always be her big brother. But 29-year-old Sen Yu was broken, withered, wounded. He didn't dare accept 19-year-old Sen Yu, because she chose to forget those 10 painful years. Their 10 years. Xi Lianzhou looked down, sadness filling his eyes. There was no time travel. It was a defense mechanism triggered by the trauma of the accident. Hadn't she wondered if she was 19-year-old Sen Yu? Then where was the 29-year-old Sen Yu? So when Sen Yu told him the truth, Xi Lianzhou got scared. The pain of losing Gu, he'd made her go through it twice. When Sen Yi collapsed in his arms, sobbing, Lianzhou wanted to kill himself. So now, facing Sen Yu's affection, he didn't dare. He was afraid that someday Sen Yu would remember what he did. He was afraid she'd break, afraid she'd never want him again. He'd rather have it like this. She doesn't remember anything. He'd just watch over her. I had some questions for Xi Lianzhou. That's why I kept hanging around him. But I could tell there were things he didn't want me to know. He seemed scared. I believed he loved me. But the rumors about my illness, plus the icy atmosphere between us at first, made me uneasy. It was like a time bomb. If I didn't deal with it, sooner or later I'd collapse and despair like when I found out about my parents. After Zheng Xu went to prison, the Zheng family went bankrupt. Quanni got locked up too because of her past crime. I decided to go see Quanni. When I saw Quanni again, she'd lost weight. Her face looked twisted. Nothing like the timid, sweet girl I remembered. When she saw me, she started laughing. Her laugh turned manic. I knew it. You don't remember. I sat across from her, frowning. How do you know that? Quanni sneered. If you remembered, you would have fought Xi Lianzhou to the death already. You're dying to know what happened between you two, aren't you? Beg me. Go on, Sen Yu. Beg me and I'll tell you. Tianyi's face was practically pressed against the glass. I leaned back, disgusted. You got 5 seconds. If you want to talk, I'll listen. If not, I'm leaving. I knew she wouldn't pass up a chance to make me suffer. The moment I finished, Tianyi jumped right in. Your parents' deaths, Xi Lianzhou caused them. My brow furrowed instantly. Xi Lianzhou already explained what happened with my parents. The Zheng family tampered with my parents' car. Qumi lied to them, told them I was pregnant, that's why they rushed to the hospital. But I wasn't pregnant back then. Lan Jiu told me all this. Of course I believed him. Seeing I didn't buy it, Tianyi kept going. You know why the Zhang family went after your parents? Because of Zhao Luyangzhou's birth mother. Hearing about her again made my chest tighten. The Zhang and Sen families were always at odds, competing and fighting. Mom failed to reconnect with him. She was furious. She went to the Zhang family to stir up trouble. That the marriage was intentional. Once your parents died, the Sen family would be without leadership. Then, the Sen family would be his to control. She just ran her mouth and left. But the Zhang family believed her. By then, they were already losing to the Sen family. So they decided to take a death. Tell me, isn't it Xi Lianzhou's fault your parents are dead? I clenched my fists. What about you? We used to be close. Xuanyi suddenly screamed close. Who was close to you? You acted all superior because you're some rich heiress, always showing off. You only hung out with me so you'd look better in comparison, right? I saw through you ages ago. All you rich people are disgusting. I laughed bitterly. So that's what you really thought? Qionnai suddenly looked smug, like she remembered something. So what if you're a rich heiress, so what does you have money? I still played you like a puppet. Just a little push, and you took all your hatred out on Xi Liangzhu. Idiot. I stood up. You could manipulate me so easily back then because I couldn't handle losing my parents. I got sick. I didn't know who you really were. But hearing all this now just makes me more certain of how much Xi Lianzhou loves me. I went for the kill. And right now, the one locked up in here is you. You'll spend the rest of your life in prison. No light, no hope. But me, I'm still the glamorous heiress of the Sen family. Rich, powerful, and married to a man who loves me completely. You'll never compare to me. Sen Yu. Ignoring Tianyi's screaming, I turned and walked out of the prison. Outside the sun was shining, made this winter feel less cold. I was about to step into the light when I heard the screech of tires grinding against pavement. Sen Yu. Yeah. I hadn't brought bodyguards this time. I thought with Zhang Xu and Tianyi locked up, I was safe. I forgot about one person. Shi Lianzhou's birth mother, Yao Qing. When the car came barreling toward me, I had no time to dodge. Images of my own accident suddenly flooded my mind. I realized something was wrong with the driver and tried to grab the wheel. We struggled, the crash happened. In that instant, I saw my parents' car plunge off the bridge into the river. Saw them struggling, calling for help, then sinking. A deafening crash. A familiar black Maybach came flying in from the side. Without hesitation, without mercy, it slammed into the car coming at me. The force and sound knocked me back. I fell to the ground, staring at the scene. At the mangled Maybach. At Xi Lianzhou inside, covered in blood. Xia Liangjiao. I scrambled up and stumbled toward him. The distance was so short, but it felt like crossing a galaxy. With every step I took, all those forgotten, buried memories came rushing back. Confessing my feelings. 24. Getting married. 24. Parents gone. After that, illness, suspicion, arguments, tests filled the marriage. What should have been the happiest couple headed toward mutual destruction. The instant those 10 blank years filled in, I reached Xi Lianzhou. The door was jammed. I couldn't pull it open. Xi Lianzhou, Xi Lianzhou. Inside, Xi Lianzhou looked at me, his lips moved. I understood. Don't be scared, I'm here. There was no time travel. When I crashed and saw visions of my parents' accident, the trauma triggered my brain to protect itself. It blocked out what it thought was the source of my pain. My brain thought that was the only way I could survive. But when Xi Liangzhou crashed into that car to save me, it was like reliving the trauma in the most brutal way possible. The block lifted. The moment my memories returned was the moment I saw Xi Liang dying. In that instant, nothing else mattered. Love, hate, none of it mattered. I just wanted him alive. To stay alive. He was all I had left. The crash was brutal. Yao Qing died on the spot. Xi Lianzhou was in the ER for 3 days and nights before he finally stabilized. I kept watch by his bed day and night, praying constantly. Xi Yanzhou's assistant told me he never planned to let Yao Qing off. But back then, Yao Qing only said things verbally, there was no proof. These past years Yao Qing was scared he'd retaliate, she went into hiding. He only recently lured Yao Qing out, he wanted to get revenge for me. Yao Qing was quick. When she realized she couldn't escape, she wanted to take me down with her. The assistant voice broke a little. Man. From the moment he was born, Yao Qing abandoned him. He and Yao Qing were never family. In his eyes, his only family was his father and the Sen family. My eyes stung. I know. After my parents died, I couldn't get past it. I couldn't accept that they died on their way to see me. I blamed myself, spiraled, felt guilty. Slowly I developed delusions. Qianyi for Zhang Ju's sake came to drag a wedge between us. The moment I found out the Zhang family decided to kill my parents because of what Yao Qing said, it was like I found an outlet. Xi Lianzhou knew I was sick. He knew this was the only way I could survive. He enjoyed it silently no matter how cruel my words were. No matter how terrible I acted, he'd never give up on me. In my rare moments of clarity, I cried and apologized, begged him to leave me. But every time he'd tell me firmly, I'll never give up on you. You can hate me. As long as you stay alive, hate me all you want. People said we tortured each other. But really, Xie Lianzhao was just giving me a reason to keep living. He let me hate him, told me to hate him with everything I had. But after hating for so long, I got tired. I wanted to let him go. I wanted a divorce. Xie Lianzhou went crazy. He refused. We went back to tormenting each other. Until I selectively forgot those 10 years. Wasn't that just another way of me trying to save myself? Xie Lianzhao, please wake up. Won't ask for a divorce anymore. Whether we love or torment each other, let's just be tied together forever. I won't let you go. And you can't let me go either, okay? I'm begging you. Please wake up. A hoarse, weak voice answered me. Okay. I jerked my head up. Xianzhou slowly opened his eyes. I burst into tears. Xianzhao, I'm sorry. It's okay, I'd do it all again gladly. Later, after Xie Lianzhou recovered a bit, he told me about the day I time traveled. You know, back then, I thought we were done, completely done. I was even thinking, maybe I should just let you be, go crazy myself. That, better than watching you wither away beside me. But then the first thing you said, when you woke up, was, my head hurts so much. He looked at me, his eyes reddened. I can't describe how I felt in that moment. Shocked, stunned, overwhelmed, overjoyed. I was so grateful you didn't remember. It gave our crumbling marriage a chance to breathe. The day we left the hospital, recorders came for Inzi. Our marriage had always been in the spotlight. This is what Xie Lianzhou said. My wife and I met young. We fell in love. After marriage we had our conflicts, our fight. But we never once thought of divorce. Even the thought was unbearable. My wife is beautiful and lovely. I'll love her forever.